So, how did you react when you read the script for the final episode of XYZ? And obviously, that scene.
Well, oh gosh, right? I guess that is the big question. So we don't get the scripts ahead of time. It's not like a TV show. We're recording and reading the script simultaneously. So I didn't. We had a couple of days where I came in where I knew it was going to be my final episode to wrap up the series. And I was so much more emotional than I had anticipated. I kept thinking, oh, it'll be my last day, and or at least my last day for XYZ. And with my fellow companions, we've all become really close friends, and we all really love each other. So it was bittersweet. I was so grateful for the opportunity to have been a part of this really awesome chapter in Ash's adventures, but also was very sad that it was all kind of coming to an end. I had been pre-warned that there might be some kind of romantic indication between Serena and Ash, and that it was going to be an exciting episode. They were hoping for the fans, and also, for us. So we got to it, and that last goodbye was really emotional. I was like crying through it in the booth. The director was crying through it in the booth. We had to take a couple breaks because my voice started to cut out, because I was like, I can't believe I'm so emotional about this. But of course, I thought the kiss was so tastefully done, and I thought it was so sweet and such a wonderful way to have Ash and Serena part ways, but also leave it very open-ended. Serena is going to be going off and venturing out on her own and following her own path, which I thought was so cool and so inspiring for a female character too, especially of that age group, that these kids are so independent. It's not something that you see in a lot of other kids' television shows. And so I thought it was a really nice way to have her kind of venture off and be this empowered girl, and going off and following her path, which is so different from all of the other companions. And also I thought it was nice because it left the possibility of her and Ash still keeping in touch and remaining friends. And she also, I thought it was very brave of her to make the step of showing him how she felt, and that was very empowering too. So it felt like it was perfectly tied up with a beautiful little bow. I didn't feel like I needed any more from the scene, because I thought it was just perfect, especially for kids their age. So I might have rambled a little bit, but did that answer the question?
That was the perfect answer. I'm almost in tears.
Okay.
I'm almost in tears already, and we're on the first question.
I know, it was such a sweet little scene. I thought it was so well written. I thought that they really communicated how each kid felt for each other. It was it was bittersweet. It was like they all had their own journeys that they were going to go off and accomplish, and I thought that it was exciting to watch them go. It wasn't just sad, it was exciting to see what they were going to do next. And in my imagination, Serena's off and, doing wonderful, wonderful things. So I don't know. I thought it was really great. I thought that they did a really wonderful job. I thought that the kiss was very tasteful, that they didn't have to show much except for the cute little moving sneakers. I just thought it was so well done.
Yeah, I completely agree with you, because I mean, at the end of the day, it is a kids show, and there's
Yeah.
things about showing kisses that it's they do find ways to hide it. Like, I thought it was so clever, like they didn't show it, but the thing that I loved most about the scene, obviously the kiss itself was great, but for me what sold me was the reactions from the other characters.
Yes,
Clement,
totally.
Bonnie, and Pikachu. Like, I mean, when I was watching the episode myself, I was just watching the scene. I was kind of craning my neck slightly, as if, like, the moment she starts going up the stairs, I'm like, she isn't going to. She isn't. Like, craning my neck, trying to tell if she actually will. And then when the screen kind of changes colors, I'm like, no, 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 she isn't. I mean, no, no, in the good way, obviously. And then,
Yeah.
and then she leans in, and I'm like, she really did, didn't she? And then the shot changes, and you see the faces of Clement, Bonnie, and Pikachu, and I'm like,
I know, and Ash
wow.
is blushing, and oh, it's just so cute.
Yeah,
I felt that they did a really wonderful job of capturing that, like that young, those young innocent romantic feelings too. That's the thing. People are always like, oh, they didn't show them, or do you think that there's going to be a courtship? And it's like, well, no, they're kids. I mean, this is what a courtship is like when you're 11 or 12 and you like somebody. It's exciting, and you have butterflies, and it's so innocent. You can't really take it beyond what they did. And I thought that the animation and the writing and then the translation script did such a great job at capturing that like young innocent infatuation, and they did it in such a tasteful way. But it also really, it kind of took me back in the recording session. I was like, I know exactly what that feels like. I remember that. It took me back to it, and I think that speaks volumes to how good the show is and how respectful they were of that relationship, and not giving too much, and then giving the fans and I mean frankly the actors too that kind of closure, because they built up that tension with Serena, and then there was a really lovely closure to it.
yeah, I completely agree. It was definitely a very amazing scene, that's for sure.
Yeah, it was for us too. It really was. And Sarah and I joked. Sarah, who voices Ash, we joked about it because we were like, it was such a cute scene. We love it.
Yeah, it's definitely, and a lot of fans loved it as well, of course.